Testing. Hello, hello. So here we are. I am a little bit late. I am about to tweet. All right. If I could just get to my tweeting device and make this tweet happen, it would be great. But hello to everyone. I hope that everyone is having a good day. Maybe I will save the pleasantries for a few minutes in. And then I think I'll save this particular question for the end because, again, I don't believe I have people on deck to listen and ask questions. So let me go ahead and save the good stuff for then. I kind of look at the I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. Yeah, no worries there, Eli. If you need to leave and come back, do not worry. I saved the question you had from Looney asked a question last week about Paranoia and human occupied landfill. We can answer that towards the end if you are interested in being here for that. And I am just about to do the tweeting thing. Tornado in Texas? No. I'm just tweeting, and when I tweet, I speak the words I am typing. Doing a game, let's say, my game plan stream. Come watch me plan and talk TTRPG. Okay, the tweeting has been tweeted. Alright, this music is just a skosh on the loud side, so we're just going to tone it down just a skosh. The skoshes will be adjusted. We need the proper number of skoshes. Alright. Here we are. Here we go. How's it going? Hope y'all are having a good day. Hope it is all the good. Alright, homework. Complete Jedi character write-up, light side, dark side rules. I have not done a lot of the homework, but I did do this one. We just need to write up light side, dark side rules. Let's just talk about that for a second. Light side. Well, don't need that highlighted. I really need to figure this out, though. On a bigger meta sense, I worry about my my work game because people are not showing up. And when I say people, I mean students. And I know students have very busy lives. So I wonder if I need to work with my thought partner, the one of my coworkers, on this, and maybe suspend it for the year so that we can kind of hit the ground running next year. Maybe we pick a different day where it feels a little bit better. I don't know. The problem is Mondays and Tuesdays are best nominally, and Wednesdays and Thursdays are full up with meetings, so that makes it tricky. So that's hard. I'm kind of sort of toying with the idea of trying to make it a thing we do during one of the class times. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. I know that it's a hard sell to get teenagers to want to stay after school for anything. But we'll see. We'll see. What I think I want to really do is hit the ground running next year and have many club activities and just kind of work things that way. But we'll see. We'll work with that. Two of my star D&D players are going to graduate this year, maybe, which is great. But that's going to lead to a lot of like necessary recruitment for next year. But there's some groundwork for making it a class, and if it's a class, then I'll be part of it, and it'll be a really cool experiment. We'll see if we get the approval, but whatever. We'll talk about that as it happens. Light side, dark side rules. All right, can use dark side abilities, but must make a corruption check. Wisdom saving throw. DC equal to own powers. DC. As per psionic fighter template or archetype. Can't remember if they're called Psyblades. I don't think that's quite right. Maybe make it points like an old Star Wars D20 game. Maybe research those. So I remember there were dark side points and light side points in the old D20 Star Wars game. It's really cool. I almost wonder if it would be worth it. Worth it to make a class? Probably not for now. I'm kind of like, I'm sure that there's like a slew of people who have tried to do this in some official or semi-official capacity, whether they've done it through Drive-Thru RPG, whether they've done it as a homebrew thing for what am I trying to say, for D&D Beyond, or if they've actually written it up as a quasi official thing on DM's Guild. But anyways, some interesting ideas. Let's kind of cam this for now though, because it's not behooving to me to do any of that. But the very simple light side dark side rules could just be a really good way to kind of sew up whatever we've got left for the year. Nominally we've got, I mean, this week and then spring break and then 8 weeks left. In the last couple of weeks I don't expect anything really happening, so I might want to just decide to sew everything up in the next four or so weeks. So let's kind of put some parameters. Side game for new people. I don't really think that's gonna keep going. I'd love to keep the side game going, but I think I'm gonna stow it for now. Customizing the game a little for the players. A fun thing each person would like. Allude to flagship. Yeah, these are all the ideas that are gonna have to fall to the wave side. I don't know why I just said that. Consider next steps in library illicit hype. Okay, I mean, meh. Again, I think I'm gonna have to like put a cap on things. So actually, idea. Lead towards big fight with fungal dragon and defeat both illithid and Zugmoy. I think that's all I really need to worry about. Plan for 4 to 5 weeks worth. Suspend after that or sooner? Question mark. But yeah, at this kind of point in time, this game is getting to be a little bit thin in terms of attendance and days played. So, well, we'll just leave that there for now. In stark contrast, the Wrath and Glory game is going splendidly, and it's called Tuesday 1. But okay. So it's called Tuesday 1, but we're going to change things around a little bit. Let's just call this Wednesday 2 now. Oop. And this is... What the... this is just clerical as we're moving things around. Just ever so slightly. So we haven't really played this game a lot, the Monday game, and we're just going to go ahead and leave it as it is. We didn't get to play today. Maybe we'll play tomorrow. We'll see. Wrath and Glory. So as I mentioned, Tuesday, Wrath and Glory, really good going. Let's see. Last time, let's just do a quick recap. Last time, group met Lady Hyacinth, former bounty hunter. They don't know that yet. Current noble, owner of a mega farm on Ostia, the agriculture world. Scroll down. Of the Gilead system. She asked them to solve a murder spree of murders happening on her mega farm. Group agreed, fumbled with some clues, etc. Then we had shoot. I'm filling this out. Simsel and Flibbity Gibbet Bones. Let's see. Did more research on the Drukari on board the rogue trader vessel and found war gear and some dead dead human Drukari sympathizers that were supposed to attack but got infected with the weird blood pet disease and all died. Group finally decided to meet up and investigate murder. Went to military police, got info, and met Tech Priestess. Great voice. And learned about some strange... learned that the police force was investigating murders and their undercover agent was killed. Retrieved footage of agent being thrown into a thresher. Group is about to go and investigate further, maybe get into a fight or two. Okay, so we have a podcast. We are podcasting. We are 2 episodes in, and it's being listened to, so that's kind of neat. I need to probably start putting in like a some means of people to contact us if they're like, hey, if they want to leave comments, if they want to be jerks, hopefully not that, but or if they want to like tell us how great it is, I will probably create a new email. I don't know. I'm very new to this whole podcast thing. I still love the idea of Torquemada Space Armada. I'm gonna maybe move this. Running jokes. And so Vincare. I should know these characters' names. I'm just going to fill in these blanks as I'm thinking about it. And I don't know if you can hear it, but just opening 3 tabs on this computer while running the streaming thing is making my computer go jet engine mode, so it's kind of funny. So I have the question of the day. If anybody is interested in answering it, I would answer it, but I want to wait and see if more people don't show up, and then that way I won't like miss anyone. But tell me something from your childhood that you wish you would come back. Do you like me miss Alpine bars? Perhaps. Perhaps you miss a certain show. Like the Wuzzles. Childlike wonder and innocence, I am a pessimist now. Well, that's... I think, yes, I agree with that. I wonder, though, if there's something else that is more... I hate to say it, more... shall we call it capitalistic? Something that's just like a media property that you wish would come back, or some kind of product. Because I think we all wish we had our childlike wonder and innocence. I know I do. Schlenker is the other Space Marine scout. Let's see. Vincari Vale. Did I miss anyone? Bones, Io, Alexander, Schlenker, Spoon, Citadel, Zamessi, Simsel, Lex. A reboot of Jason the Wheeled Warriors. You know, I don't know if this was a fever dream or if I actually saw this, but I swear I saw a reboot of Jason the Wheeled Warriors that was like 3D. It wasn't quite reboot level, like as in Reboot the Canadian cartoon show. Oh, Pirates of Dark Water was already kind of dark and gritty, and Skeleton Warriors was pretty good. You know, I'm kind of sad that Ready Player One already kind of killed the American, like, mishmash nostalgia machine. because it would have been really fucking cool to see just like this weird, bizarre amalgam of all of these like old properties. It's kind of like if you remember Defenders of the Earth just being all those old King Syndicate comics like in cartoon form. If you could get a cartoon that was like some bizarre mishmash of like Jason the Wheeled Warriors, Pirates of Dark Water, Skeleton Warriors, Mutant League Football, or Sports, whatever they call that cartoon, Mummies Alive, and the shows that were like silly but just serious enough that you could take them seriously and mash them together. I would even go so far as to say Mighty Max. Mighty Max was a weirdly good cartoon. Like, I don't know how they did it, but they made a decent cartoon out of like what was Boy Polly Pocket. Like that was all Mighty Max was. They were like, hey, these Polly Pockets are selling like hotcakes. Can we make one for boys, and can it have like spiders and creepy things? That's what I was just typing Mighty Max. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're on the same page about this. There were those like really weird cartoons that tried to take us more like as children more seriously. I mean, it wasn't exactly what am I trying to say here? It wasn't exactly the level of Batman the Animated Series, which is like I still to this day I'm not sure how a cartoon series took its audience as seriously as that did, but I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that that happened. And so there is that. And sorry, I am just looking at one more thing before I go back to typing on the thing, but meanwhile I'm in the grips of a really weird nostalgia trip. By the way, I am almost at 3,000 hours played of Roll20. That's kind of wacky. Gem and the Holograms, but from the other side, the Misfits. So I don't know, Eli, if you happen to have watched the... Well, I didn't. I can't say that I did. But I did not watch the Gem and the Holograms movie. And I was really sad because from all accounts, it was like a bad movie, just like everyone thought it would be. But at the end, they had the Misfits, and one of them was Kesha, and it was a little too perfect. And what everybody that in my friend group said about that was like they couldn't have led with that. Like as much of a fucking train wreck as both the idea of a Gem and the Holograms movie and then casting Kesha as one of the Misfits was, it's like I was there for that. That just felt perfect. And I wish that would have been the movie. Like that could have been the movie instead of like this ridiculousness that we got. But instead we got the teaser that we never got because the movie just bombed horribly. I think it had a lot of potential, and whatever the director did, oh boy. Yeah, but I mean, that was also in the time frame that we got Battleship the movie, as if anyone had ever asked for that, but whatever. All right. So, we're doing good so far. Let's see, Velden family. Do we want to go with something else? Velden family? No, let's make a non-Velden. Lady Hyacinth, Brefendelia Casperin. She's good. Mercurius Deltor. Galvanus Breston. Lick at the Whip. Inquisitor Tremaine Hortense. Let's see. I don't need this anymore. Let's make Thenodius Thimbar. Charismatic leader of a hive world game. Not many people realize that these cartoons we loved were created to make toys to sell to us. No, I think that's fallen by the wayside. Merchandising just is a different animal anymore. Like the way that merchandising is approached anymore just seems to be different. And I don't know how to I don't know. I don't know how to exactly think about that. Like toys aren't sold on the same level in the same way that they used to be. Like there's not like a He-Man, there's not like a Thundercats or even a GI Joe. Now you just take existing properties, make all kinds of ridiculous merchandise for adults because adults are the people buying toys anymore. And yes, as I was about to say, Legos. You just make Legos of whatever. Make a Lego of Mario Brothers. Make a Lego of Rick and Morty. Make a Lego of hell, I don't know, Robot Chicken. Why not? Like it's just. I think the best approximation of all of this that I can figure out is the pop figures. We're at a stage where you can make pop figures of virtually anything. Virtually anything. People will buy anime pop figures. People will buy American Horror Story pop figures. People will buy Hellraiser pop figures. Whatever you like. Anything that you could possibly be into, they make a pop of it. And that's just weird. Like, somewhere out there, there's someone who's trying to buy every pop. Boy, sorry for being late. The internet in this place is being iffy, says Looney. Looney, no worries. I was worried that maybe you couldn't make it, then that would not have been your fault, but I know that you are super busy. I'm glad that the internet is holding out somewhat. Let's see. Big secret. Let's see. So Phenodius Thimbar um, wants to lead a rebellion on Gilead Prime. Has gotten tens of thousands of gang members under his control. It, let's see, has a heavy bounty on him. Maybe being targeted by one of Lady Hyacinth's former associates. Oh, Looney, thank you. I'm glad that you make time for me. But to the point, question of the day: if you could bring back one thing from your childhood, what would it be? And although this question could get very philosophical, I mean more like, is there a candy bar that you wish you could bring back? Is there a TV show that you wish that you could bring back? Whether it's to make if it's a TV show, you could say, hey, I want them to do another season of this. Pirates of Dark Water, as was mentioned a little bit earlier, is the perfect example. That show never got it to do. Things to remember. Let's see, group that knows that dark elves want to create their own god. They're trying to fuck with the warp to do it. Might be a plot element later. Elven Soulstone may play a part. I like it. We're gonna just leave that there. There's nothing that I can do with that at the moment, but that's a good reminder. Third session, Actor World of Ostios. We know that. Group meets Lady Hyacinth. Necron Kindergarten Nursery experiment was underway to create a Catan. Unique combination of Necron tier soul stuff with Catan soul stuff. Antimatter God. I like this. I don't know how I want to really implement this, but it should be interesting. Contained in a matrix, the pieces of mat combine to form the matrix like a Yu-Gi-Oh puzzle piece that will awaken this Catan. Let's see. Lady Hyacinth wants a murder solved on her Giga Farm. Okay, so we already know that. Group will have to solve it to get the map. Why not just comment in? Okay. Okay. Session 4. Giga Farm murders are being conducted by a cult that is obsessed with the Great Rift, not directly worshipping chaos, but indirectly, and may summon a modestly powerful demon. Homework, look up demon. So let's just talk about this for a second. I keep putting this off. Oh, fancy. So if we're gonna make this a demon, I honestly think it should be a demon of Sinch, as opposed to a demon of like Korn or Nurgle, for instance, and certainly not of Slanesh, at least not yet. I think Sinch in particular would have tricked these humans into worshipping the Rift, and the Warp or the Forces of Chaos indirectly. Because that's the kind of thing Sinch would do. And maybe not Sinch especially. Like, Sinch wouldn't have like gotten some backwoods weirdos to worship him. He's too busy for all of that. But one of his intermediaries may have. Chaos Spawn. Alright, this Chaos Spawn will work. I'm just looking up its stats. So, as per the book, we shall use a Chaos Spawn. Excuse me. Basically a lesser daemon of Sinch. Will take the form of a rock-like creature. Let's call it... Secret of the Stars. It may seek to flee into the Materium to sow more discord. Please tell me Ostia is a world populated by Spaniard stereotypes that incessantly exclaim, Ostia, Jose. Oh my god, and they're all named things like Jose Ramon, Manolo. Oh my god, I didn't know Manolo was a real name. Venancio, and the only available food is fabada. I mean, maybe now it will be. I'm reading from the chat, by the way. I kind of wish that kids' meal toys returned to their glory days instead of being cheap crap. Says the chat. I was a member of Collectors Club of the Ozarks. Wow. This was back in the day that they had regional toys, so we'd have to take road trips to get all the different toys, but they don't even have canonical branding characters and stories anymore like McDonald's used to have. Is capitalism half-assing it these days? Oh no, my formatting. Wait, what? Did I screw up the formatting somehow? But anyhow, in all seriousness, no, I remember those days of the McDonald's toys actually being kind of neat. And I even go back to the days that they would give you glass cups. Like if you wanted to get like, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't remember who did this. I think it might have been Burger King, but you could get the glass cups that had like, I don't know if they were hand painted or if it was some kind of manufacturer. No, I had those statements separated. I see. Yeah. If you type very quickly in the chat, it will chunk things together. I think. But anyways, yeah, they used to have like the Garfield glass mugs that I really liked a lot. They used to have some other things that you could buy from them. And I miss those. I think McDonald's might have been the ones that had the Charlie Brown ones, and those were really cool. And then some, like once a really long time ago, I think one of the fast food chains had some Alf ones, and you can find them. They're not super expensive. Like, you know, for being collectibles, you could probably get yourself some like Garfield mugs. All the brands had their own collectible glasses. Yeah. And even now, you can probably do it for $10. Hi there. You mentioned a podcast earlier. I can't seem to find it. Yes. So I think I've got a link on the, like, just hanging out, if I can remember. Nope, that was from before. Let me find that link for you. Give me just a moment to do so, and we will go from there. And I will post it in the chat. Oh, you've got it. Thank you, Eli. You are a lifesaver. But yes, that would be the podcast in question. And in fact, I'm going to copy and paste that into this document so that I will always have it available. Oops. Oh man, I hate it when it does that. You know what I'll do is I will paste it into a WordPad and then copy it with no formatting problems. Fantastic. Oh no, my window closed. Can I get it again? Yeah. Now that I've got it on speed dial. There you go. And by the way, it's Dukes. Thank you and welcome. I am super happy to have you show up. I am glad that that you are here. Well, Manolo is just the friendly derivative of Manuel. Oh, see, I didn't know. Looney, I don't know if you ever watched the Teen Girl Squads from the Homestar Runner cartoons, but no, it wasn't Manolo. It was Manolio. Manolio's Lectropon. Anyways, that's just a really goofy reference. So where were we? Okay, so that's Thenodius Thimbar. I've got plans for Thenodius or Phenodius. Thenodius Finbar. I can just interchange those and nobody will care. Let's see. Okay, let's just italics that real quick. Maybe an underline actually for readability. Okay, so third session. I didn't watch those, unfortunately. Maybe a thing for us to do at a later date, but it's not super important. Session 4, Gigafarm murders are being conducted by a cult. Yep, so Sinch. Secret of the Stars. Okay, cult leader is the killer, ostensibly a shift leader of the local group leading a sector of the Gigafarm. Secretly has a small squad of loyalists with one psyker, 4 guards that have unlicensed scumbolters. Yep. Cult leader remembers Lady Hyacinth and was an escaped bounty but lives under her nose and plans to be... Okay. Plan is doomed to failure, of course. So the cult meets in a processing room where vegetables are made into a carbohydrate slurry. The slurry has been tainted with people. Long story short, well, let's see. The slurry is how people all over the system get fed. Decent chance that 0.01% of the system has had people in their food. You know, Slurry Green is people, yes, absolutely. Mask toys were great. I love them. And I had so it was a green motorcycle that turned into a helicopter. And I missed the hell out of that. I lost that in a ball pit at a pizza place. But, you know, easy come, easy go. I bet you that same toy is probably something like $100 now. And I'm real sad about it. Condor, he was my favorite. Yeah, see, it was so long ago, I don't even remember the name. I need to rewatch that cartoon, maybe. Let's see. Cult meeting in 1 to 2 days at midnight and is going to sacrifice one of Hyacinth's servants with intention to draw out Hyacinth as a result, but not that night. Let's see. Session 5. If murder solved, then create Space Hulk. I don't know that we then go to... We already kind of created the Space Hulk. And what we know is that it once belonged to the Tau. Everything inside is like a hologram haunted house. The echoes of Tau remain, though their bodies are dead and or gone. I like gone. Because it lends to the eeriness of it. Where did their bodies go? Let's see. Reading from the chat. By the Emperor, why are the people of Ostia rebelling? Well, the local authorities recently banned bullfighting in Paella. What in the Emperor's name were they thinking? That's hilarious. Alright, group is given a ship by Hyacinth. Actually, let's walk that back. Group has a ship given by Rudiger and the other scientist, whose name I forget, and runs into the Space Hulk on their way to a landmark that will help them get to the treasure. So Tau fucked around with an AI, found out it was tainted by chaos, engines shut down as a last resort. Do we want to, like, I feel like this session, so going back to what's going to happen tomorrow, 2050 on eBay, I'll pay that. I mean, that's even, sorry, I'm reading from the chat, but yeah, if Condor is available for $20.50 on eBay, like, even by the standards of inflation from the 1980s to now, that's amazing. That's fantastic. Let's nope, won't let me do that. How's about if I okay, I want to open this link, but I don't want to open it necessarily on the thing. I'm not giving eBay any free advertising today, not until they sponsor me. Let's see, why do I remember this guy differently? I mean, it still looks cool, but for some reason, yeah, okay, no, this is different than I remember. Hold on. Now I'm flipping out about this because like something about this seems wrong. I distinctly remember it like actually transforming, and this doesn't seem like it does. This is more like you tack on a... No, something about this is just off. Maybe my... No, this is all wrong. What is wrong with my memory of this? I swore this was different. This just feels like you... Yeah, but it just looks like you flip... Okay. No, that looks better. I see it now. How weird. Like, I remember that neon green. Anyway. Gosh. Okay. Yeah. That satisfies my curiosity. I'm still shocked that it's that much. Like, I thought it was certainly less. And I remembered it being bigger, but just like anything from my childhood, I do. Backwheel 12.2. You can hear the Ostian, reading from the chat again, you can hear the Ostian rebels coming from a mile away as they make their war chant. Ole, que ole, que ole, que ole. All right. So no, I think we've got this fairly well figured out. All right. How about this? Aftermath. Find out about cult, root them out, maybe bring in Inquisition. But how does this affect Hyacinth? Question mark. Inquisition may want to acquire / destroy Giga Farm. Let's see, let's scroll up a little bit. So anyways, we need to figure this out because I wanna be a little bit more mindful about what happens after they kill these cultists. this would be a great place for Alexander to intercede. Intercede. Alexander being a PC and a Grey Knight scout. Which, by the way, if you know anything about, well, if you know a lot about 40k, I guess there's no such thing as a Grey Knight scout. All Grey Knights just come out as Space Marines. But that's okay. We'll just, we already have an orc in the group, so I'm not gonna, what's the phrase I'm looking for? I'm not going to, make a big deal of it. I know there's some idiom that I'm missing here. Let's see. Split hairs. That's what I was thinking. I'm not going to split hairs about this. So, anyways, connections to the Inquisition. Inquisition on Ostia. Oh, actually, this might be a great way to integrate. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Integrate Sister Rose. That was another thing I forgot. So, we forgot about this. Sorry for all the scrolling. Last time on Warhammer 40k Dead Hope. Let's see. On the way, they ran into Sister Rose and her retinue of 3 Sisters Repentia. Maybe they can... No. We'll put that down there. As for question of the day, I really wish they brought back the really weird thematic Ninja Turtle figures from when the toy line was starting to jump the shark. They were really silly, but also really creative and detailed. You're talking about like the goofy ones where they would like, I think, shoot, was it Raphael who was like Spock? And then they had actually they might have just had different Ninja Turtles be different people from Star Trek. And then they had like some real they had some real goofy characters that I'm almost certain never appeared in either the comic books or the cartoon. The Eastman and Laird ones or later. But yeah, they got real wild with those action figures at a certain point. I think they did one where they were all cave turtles, which that didn't make a lot of sense. Maybe there's a group of manifest mainframe preying on avoid the course of action. Okay. Might require a sneaky. Okay, so Sister Rose and Alexander are going to have to figure out how to get the Inquisition off their back, but also how to root out. Okay, let's write that out. Root out cultists without the Greater Inquisition finding out, or Hyacinth loses her form. May make for some tricky RP. Maybe also bring in, and I can't remember her name, I'm gonna have to write it down. The tech priestess. Question mark? Could be neat. Other aftermath items. Group will get map. Hyacinth may ask to go with them. Yeah, thinking about this whole Ninja Turtles action figure thing, like I feel like action figures are a thing again. You can buy effective reissues of the old He-Man toys. I think somewhere, somehow you can get your hands um, on the old Ninja Turtle stuff as well, but not all of it, just some. Sorry, just opening up. Oh. Yeah, there's this real big push to reissue like a lot of those old Kenner toys and so on, and it's really cool, and I'm really impressed. Oh, that would have been not fun to step on. And you can even get some like other goofy like old toys as well. Missed out on the Star Trek turtles, but I had a full set of Olympic turtles and the wind-up ones too, and the really bizarre turtles which had shells you could open and store accessories inside. Those slapped real hard. Yes, Looney. Those were amazing, and like they were so goofy, and oh boy, like it was just they really shot for the moon on those. All right, so Aftermath. Group will get map. Hyacinth may ask to go with them. Um, but group will start to get notoriety. Maybe they will start to be stalked by... a group tied to... what did we call him? Phenodius. This may lead group into conflict with the gang leader. Okay, I think that's enough maybe for the Aftermath. So then the group is going to go. Let's qualify this from Ostia to Space Hulk to Gilead Prime. All right, so Space Hulk, and if we need to, if session 4 ends early, and we go to session 5 and kind of start on this stuff, then that's fine. So yeah, Space Hulk used to belong to Tau, got fucked up by AI that was corrupted by the by chaos, basically. And that's gonna take a long time, or at least it should. God, I wish I knew what the other scientist's name is. I really need to start writing this stuff down in this document. We'll get there. So let's see. So robots, like, let's see. Oh yeah, antagonists are going to be the robots inhabited by warp spirits. I love it. Loot includes war gear and those who were tricked by Space Hulk previously and murdered. Group will interact with the Digital Nightmare, a holodeck VR experience where Tau souls are uploaded and being tormented. Man, that's so cool. I just love that idea. And group will be goaded by the mainframe to be extracted. Maybe preying on the Skitarii. Group will be helped to avoid this course of action by maybe the one Tau they can save? Question mark. Maybe the Tau can have an uncorrupted android body. Codifying the war gear they find. So let's just do that. War gear. Whoops. Son of a gun, come on. So the Tau weapons, maybe a power armor? That seems a little extreme, but I'm kind of curious about that. Let's see, chain swords, las guns. It's another good thing that they might get their hands on. And Dari stuff. We'll just say it like that. Maybe they have a cache of Inquisition items and they get a clue from the possessions to go to a remote planet where the Inquisition is up to something. That was a really loose idea, but I like it. Let's say this leads to Enoch. Maybe there is an issue there that needs addressing. Vis-a-vis the Drukhari stuff, let's just say. End of this arc, maybe have an Inquisitors following group. I like that. Maybe they follow because of Sister Rose. Not sure yet if she will go with group or not. Because as a person, she might be a really powerful ally. But let's see. Let's just talk about this. Sister Rose may be great ally, but also a what's the phrase I'm looking for? Liability, both on and off the battlefield. The Sisters Repentia are also very likely to die. Maybe kill, and I feel bad doing this, but that's kind of what they're there for. Maybe kill one on the Space Hulk. Here's a question for the chat. So, if you don't know what a Sister Repentia is, I want to say I talked about this last time or time before. Sister Repentia are Adeptus Sororitas, basically battle nuns, from the Imperium of Man in Warhammer 40k, who for some reason or another have either been identified by an outside source or have self-identified as not being pious enough. They either had a moment of doubt or had done something sinful, and so now they're living their entire lives to either die in the glory of battle or to somehow get redemption. As you might imagine, the former happens way more than the latter. And this is just like part of the Inquisition and the Sisters, Adeptus Sororitas, and their culture, that some of them, being potentially decent people, will throw their lives away. Yeah, that's exactly right. They don't wear armor, they wield chain swords, and they go out with the intention of causing and receiving as much damage as possible. So here's the question I have for you. Should I name them, understanding that they have a very high percentage chance of dying? And if so, would you, as the chat, like to name them? Doggone it. But the Inquisition is like if Catholic guilt took physical form. Homework, learn more about... I still need to learn more about Drukhari, but I've been doing a crash course on 40k lore, so I'm learning more and more. I'm listening to a YouTube series, and I've gotten to the part where they're talking about orcs, and I hope they talk about Drukhari soon, because I need to learn more about them. Question, why did the Dark Eldar raid that planet in such numbers? Answer, okay, yeah, so this was just my note. And they want to draw out some of the Staunchcraft world of Dari, also God creation, see above. Yeah, so that all sounds good. I'm game to name one, and I've even thought of a couple of names in mind. Yeah, please. Likely. BA, great. So, as we are paused in this process, if anyone else happens to be in the chat, ooh. I like Mary Ermengarde. Mr. Mary Ermengarde. Mother Mary Angelica almost sounds like too high, I don't know, rank may be the wrong word here, for someone who's basically throwing their life away. Like, even if she had the name Mother Mary before, I would imagine that she would have downgraded to sister. And then similarly, Sister Christina the Astonishing, she'd probably drop that and or give herself a different nickname. Sister Carmen Desideria and Sister Encarnacion de Jesus. Well, but it wouldn't be de Jesus, it would be the Emperor, and I don't know that there's a better, because the Emperor doesn't have a name, the lesser. So let's see. Sister Carmen Desideria. Sister Carmen Desideria. Now, Looney, are these actual nun names that you've come across in your life? Because they seem a little bit almost like too real, which isn't a bad thing. How about Sister Encarnación de Emperador? That's how you would say it in Spanish, right? Yeah, there we go. The cider is tart. I guess you're right. Encarnación. No, you are also right about that. Encarnación de Piedad. And maybe at that point, Piedad isn't like I am holy, but that's kind of what she's striving for. Or actually, what if we were to say Sister Encarnación de Natividad? I actually kind of like that better. It kind of gives the idea of like rebirth, as in she's hoping to be reborn as someone worthy of being a sister of a battle. But also, it could have its own kind of connotations because everybody's hoping that the Emperor is reborn. So it's a little bit more about hope and a little bit less about being prideful. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button. Obliterate that follow button. And commit some kind of war crime against the notification bell. Reincarnation part of the Repentia stuff? Yeah. And yes, those are all real names that I've known real people to have. Yeah, I figured. It struck me a little bit. Let's see, did I even spell that right? Oh wow, Teresita del Corazón del Niño Emperador. I like that actually. Teresita, oh man. Desideria. So I'm somewhere between Carmen Desideria and Teresita del Corazón del Niño Emperador. Oh, these are too good. Exterminatus that follow button lads. Yes. Oh my god. Let's see. Runner up. Teresita del Corazón. So, you know what? I'm going to write all of these down. Del Niño Emperador. Because guess what? They could run across any other number of like these will then be for other, let's see, Sister Mary Angelica. These will be for other Adeptus Sororitas. Sister Christina the Lesser. And then, did I miss any? Okay. I think that's it. We can finally move on to Wednesday. Alright, Wednesday we actually played last week. Oh boy. Yeah, that was... Oh boy. Alright. So we can move on from this and delete this. Group sent to uncover old Nethery Science Lab gone wrong. Use Canon Schematica Adventure. I've been doing that. Fan Invasion. So that's for later. Group still exploring and about to fight Ochre Jelly. 2 Ochre Jelly. Progress is slow. Younger party members being a little persnickety. And I'm not really sure how to help that. Like, it just really seems like they were like most of you have dealt with kids and know that when they're just like a little extra needy. They weren't mean, they weren't, rough and tumble, they just were needy. And I don't know what to do or how to help that necessarily. But that's where we were. Persnickety. Next, consider removing further dangers and making and emphasizing exploration. Maybe puzzles to get greater. Reading from the chat. Fun fact, I was extremely drunk when I made my first steps to do my legal name change and almost became a Desideria. Oh wow. The diminutive version has a nice ring to it. Wouldn't have particularly minded being called La Desi. I like it. So this is just my ignorance. What does Desideria mean? Because I know, especially when it comes to a lot of religious names, you have Lourdes, which means wait, and that's always seemed like an awkward name. And worse yet is Dolores, which just means pain, and I don't know desire. Oh, that I see. Praise be to Slanesh. That makes sense though. And then Dolores, which means pain. Like, why would you name your child Pain? Naruto notwithstanding, it just seems like, even though I get it, it's a whole like Catholic guilt thing. I've never liked that name. I've known some Doloreses, and they're very nice people. I don't have anything against people named Dolores, but that name just not good. Lourdes, Dolores. People need to stop naming their kids after these things. Like, the guilt is, yeah. You don't saddle your kid with predetermined guilt. Next, consider removing for the. Yeah, okay, I already wrote that. All right, okay. So let's emphasize this. Thwart Thane invasion of the Druid's Grove, trickery, bravery, dedication. Forward base near the grove. Maybe make a Thayan city tied to the Merc group. Forget the name. That will be the staging ground for the invasion. And yes, I get that it seems a little close to topical. Okay. All right. So Klaus the Gnome. We're not going to reveal any secrets, but we are going to continue on the Dragon Druid Circle. Fun fact, I had no idea how I came to follow Elven Wizard King. Yeah, I don't know. I remember I started following you because I thought you were a different Eli Martin. So for what it's worth, this is a fun fact. So there's an Eli Martin that used to come to my Adventures League back before the pandemic. And he was really obviously very big into D&D, and then I think I saw you posting something on Twitter, and I thought you were that Eli Martin, and so I started following you. And I don't know if you followed me first, and because of that I saw what you posted, but that is what I remember of that kind of initial interaction. So, all right, second, sixth. Okay, we're gonna 6th level. What do we do at 6th level? What happens at 6th level for Druid? 1 second. Just grabbing my handy player's guide with the Jeremy Crawford signature and another signature which I will not talk about because unfortunately I have become disenchanted with the other person that signed my book. We won't talk about that. Okay, so circle forms. Okay, Primal Strike. Starting at 6th level, your attacks and beast form count is magical. Okay, I mean that's pretty easy to track too. I did spend some time in AL, but probably not the same. No, you're not in the Colorado area, so that already disqualifies you from being that specific Eli Martin. But it was just a really funny coincidence. From the chat, Looney says, they use that name to honor the pain of Christ on the cross, allegedly. Although I knew a mom who named one of my students Dolores because of the pain she suffered birthing her. That's surely not going to cause therapy sessions in the future, no, sir. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't matter what your reason is for calling a kid pain. Don't do it. Like, that's not cool. Whatever. I mean, at least they didn't name their kids Zebulon. Let's see, at 6th level treat. When you reach 6th level, you can treat your attacks as magical if you... Hold on. Let me think about this for a second. Or Xenu. Oh my god. I mean, if you're naming your kid Xenu, there's a pretty good chance you're into Scientology, and honestly, that's worse than any name you can give your child. Like, if you raise a child in Scientology, like, I just wish that there was a social service call that could be made for raising a child as a Scientologist, but whatever. You can spend a bonus... No. Maria de Lourdes? Okay, Looney says, I do have an aunt called Maria de Lourdes. Apparently really, because she has always been a massive weight upon the shoulders of the family. She's kind of a handful. Oh my god. But See, at what point does that become a premonition? At what point does that become a self-fulfilling prophecy? It's like if you call your child Jeeves and they become a butler, who's to blame? Who do you blame for that? Do you blame the child? Whatever. That is really tart. Oh my god. How do I cut this cider? I think I might have to mix it with soda. Wow. It is so tart. Oh god, sorry. Okay. When you reach 6th level, your attacks. Oops. There we go. Mother, father, I become a search engine. Oh boy. Your attacks count as magical for. No. I think that's it. I think you just say it's magical, but. Races, classes. Let's just look at that again and make sure your attacks. In dragon form. Is that what? Should I call it that? Like, should I be capitalizing that? Oh snap! Haha! I found some character sheets that I wrote on like scraps of paper. Elna, the half elf monk elementalist that I did for a Dark Sun game. I'm gonna have to save that somewhere. Maybe I'll just stick that back in here. That's kind of cool. Oh man, that takes me back. Let's go back to this. Okay, beast form. So the beast form, just that's not a proper game term. Dragon form count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical. Attacks and damage. I mean, I could make it more complicated than that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be. That's pretty simple. I feel like I can move on and do a 10th level. Fun fact number 2. Let's see. Okay, no, reading back through the chat. Looney says, like that aunt was the only one out of 6 who required forceps to be birthed. It was kind of a destiny thing, all right. Oh, okay. Eli says, fun fact number 2, while my wife and I were in Toronto for alcohol school, we were wandering around and saw a bunch of cosplayers. We followed them to a con, and my first AL character was born in Canada, or Canada. That's amusing. Alright. Going back. So at 10th level, you can turn into a dragon with the statistics of a fire elemental. You can breathe fire as though you had. No. You gain an action. Breath weapon. Charge 4 through 6. You breathe fire in a cone. Let's call it a 30-foot cone. Creatures in that area must make a saving throw with a DC of your let's see, Looney says, BRB real quick. Gonna go see if anyone here has some blue solvent. Oh no, makeup class, and I did not bring any solvent. Okay. Okay. Eli says she makes fuel ethanol, but they sent her to the brewery conference for fun. It was fun. That's cool. Let's see. But you lose. Sorry, now I gotta reference a different thing. So. Alright, so let's see. You lose. The fire form, illumination, and the actually water susceptibility. Oops. Traits. As well as the touch action. Gain the following actions. Multi-attack. The dragon makes 2 claw attacks. Claw. Melee weapon. See, plus X to hit. Reach 10 feet. 1 target. Hit. We'll just say this does 2d8. So Y. 2d8 plus strength bonus. Gosh, this is getting real kooky real soon. Maybe I should reverse this. Let's see. What is dismiss? Yeah, no, I don't think there's a I don't know. We'll figure this out. I might have to just make stats for this. Because yeah, this is getting wacky real quick. I'm just gonna say, let's see. Red dragon. Use the following statistics. So we're just going to straight up make a thing here. Let's see. Red dragon. Juvenile. Large dragon. Special. Let's see. AC 15. HP 100. Speed 40. Strength 18. Dex 12. Con 16. Plus, whoops, 1 plus 3. Actually, that solves a lot of problems. Plus 4. Damage immunities fire. I'm not super worried about formatting here, so we're just going to do this on the fly. Senses, dark vision, oops, 60 feet, true sight, 10 feet. Juvenile, young, or before young? I honestly can't remember, but let me look. Dragon age categories. 3/3. Okay, it is very young. Goes wormling, hatchling, very young, young, and then juvenile. So let's go very young. Very young red dragon. Same as druid. Honestly, that might be all that I need. Multi-attack, fire form, no, it doesn't need. I think that's honestly everything I need. Although I just want to look at one more thing. Oh. Let's see. Let's just shoot this up to 125 hit points. It's not going to have the same damage resistances as the fire elemental, which is kind of what I'm basing this power level off of, but we'll stick with it. Let's see. Whoops. Fire breath. Let's see. You breathe fire in a 30-foot cone. Let's see. Each creature in that area must make a saving throw DC against your spell save DC. Taking, let's say 8d6 fire damage. On a failed save or half as much. Oops. Because let's just look at this real quick. Balls Too Wild. Welcome back. Okay, if I could bring back anything from my childhood, it would be the ability to bit people I don't like with little to no consequences. So you want to be Caillou? Too soon for that joke? That was dope. But yes, welcome back, Balls to Wild. It's been a super long time since we've seen you. I'm super glad to have you back. We're just doing stuff here. Let me think. If I was a fire elemental and I was doing a lot of damage. Okay, so we can imagine 10 plus 20. So that would be a total of 45 possible damage. And so 8d6 would be 28 times 2. Let's kick this down a notch. 76 fire damage. That would bring us to potentially 48 damage. Assuming you hit 2 targets. Looney says, okay, back now. No luck with the solvent, so I guess I'm stuck with full August face for the next 5 to 6 hours. Oh my god. Okay, so this becomes 24 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. Alright. Oh yeah. So this creature would also get a fly speed. At level 10, that would be appropriate. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah, so you just turn into a dragon. And these stats I feel like are in line. So let's see. Whoops. Whoops. The 2 hit on the dragon claw attack is based on the druid's your proficiency bonus plus your strength bonus. Do you want to make the party mad? Add a chance of fire spread to the attack, or if the damage is high enough, chance to melt magic items. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think this is good, and then we still have a level 14. Okay, we'll tackle that next time. Should be interesting. Actually, we'll do that right now. When you reach 14th level, you can cast. See, how do we have it worded? Actually, let's go with 68 because we're doing d8s. Okay, so 68 would be 27. That's a little high, so let's do it 5. So we're looking at 18 plus 4 is 22. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Breathe fire in any of your forms. Let's see. As though you had expended a third. No. I see y'all doing the roar in the chat. Sorry, I am thinking. When you reach 14th level, you no longer have to expend spell slots to breathe fire. Shoot. No. Because no, you would just turn into the thing anyway. When you expand spell slots to breathe fire, you instead deal 3d8 damage per spell slot expended. At that point, it's going to get a little bonkers, so let's just pretend you're doing 9. 27d8. Which, let's just consider... That's like 120 damage if you went full bore. The breath weapon of your... Or the breath... Sorry. The fire breath of your dragon form now deals 88 fire damage. Actually, let's just call it 9. So that is as though we were expending a 3rd level spell. A minimum. Let's just say 68 damage. No. Nope. You gain your dragon form's breath weapon no matter what form you know. Yeah? Let me think. No, let's just make this better. Okay. Your dragon form is improved. Your AC is 18. Your hit point total is 175. And your strength is 22. Let's just say 180. Any other form you desire to take will look... Let's see. If you take another form, you can add draconic visual features and gain your same breath. And use the fire breath. Yeah, it would be a capitalized breath of your dragon form. In that form. In that shape. Which I really like, because then you could be a mouse breathing like Mondo Fire. Which is a thing you can do anyways, but it's neat that you can do it this way without having someone cast a dragon breath spell on you. Alright. Using the same recharge time. And at level 14, I feel like that's not overpowered. Except 88 fire damage, I think is maybe a little bit better. No. Let's go for 10. Because 10... No. Alright. Yeah, 45 damage at level 14. Potentially 90 if you hit 2 targets. That's good, but not awesome. Like, that's not going to break anything, I don't think. And at level 14, you can already cast a spell that does that anyway. Kind of. Yeah, that's fine. I might regret that later, but that's what I'm sticking with. You're already gonna, at level 14, you're already gonna have CR4 creatures that do some pretty amazing stuff. I don't know. Maybe we'll move it to 50 and AC 17, strength of 22. Shoot, I'm kind of nervous about this. Let's do 4d8 and 8d8, because an 8d8 is 36 damage, potentially 72 if you hit two creatures. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. All right. So that's enough. We finished that. All right. We're almost done. Thursday game. At least I think we're almost done. Thursday game. War drums. Last week group. We didn't play last week. Road. Earth. No, the group fought Lich. Road. Earth. Shaker. Got to Golden City of Balgor. Next, a bunch of crazy ancient city stuff. And again, I keep meaning to check out Zinshalast. I did inform Duraten that he got a Staff of Power, which is going to be really neat. Okay, Showdown in Ancient Elven Palace. So as long as we've got the time, let's have a look at this book. Oh goodness, alright. Spires of Zinshalast. So in the original story, we've got an ancient city that was like a magocracy controlled by this wacky dude who was basically the he was the mage lord signifying sin. I'm sorry, signifying sin, signifying greed. And so his city was like this golden paradise for the people who could afford it, and like not for the ones who did not. So what are the things that I want to Yep. Let me see. So what are the things that I want to draw from this as a template? Maybe not a lot. So Zoliad, our Elven Wizard King, who... Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Themes. So I'm switching things around, but if Zoliad is about anything, he's about pride. No. Okay. Giant statues. Rune giants. Atavistic ogre mages. What are some other things that I want to bring into? So Zinshalast, the city. giant Colosseum. Question, will the giant statues have moai heads? They might. Let's see, what hubristic tendencies do these characters exhibit? Let me think. I don't know, it's hard to say. Because, so, just for a quick recap. War drums. So, let me bookmark this real quick. So we've got Durotan, human warlock. I think he's human. Yeah, he's human. No. Half-orc warlock. Mad at his dad. Some dark tendencies. Murder, greed, etc. You have Kalhiri, a tiefling rogue. Very kind. Guilty about past and wants to destroy drug trade. Rift. Sea elf druid. Direct, not diplomatic. Always cooking fish and kind despite her gruff ways. Then you've got Wolfpeck, gnome ranger, gruff, unbending, nature warrior, friend to all animals. And then you have Winna. I think she's a halfling gnome? Druid. Ayo, hold up. There are sea elves? Yes, there are sea elves. And there are avorial, which are sky elves with wings. If you cook fish, you won't get the vitamin C, so I hear. Well, I don't know. She sometimes smokes them and she sometimes salts them. So she you can really get first AD&D creature or character with a sea elf. But you can really get your fish any which way. Rift makes fish just any way you could imagine. When a halfling gnome druid, very quiet, but loves her friends and is very protective. What do I have? Oh yeah. Shoot. What is the other character's name? I know the other character is a dragonborn. Warden. And basically, the warden is a protected class like a paladin without spells. And the character's name starts with an A, and I can't quite, for the life of me, remember. But I do have another dealie up, and I'm maybe gonna do just roll. But anyways, that's the party makeup. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Don't tell them about Lithari. What are Lithari? Elves that have alternate form of a wolf. Holy cow, that's amazing. There's also shoot. That's amazing. So yeah, the elves are really strangely adaptable. But you've got the Avorial, you've got the oh shoot, what are they called? So you've got Drow, which are dark elves. Um, what are those ones called? They're the ones that are like the death elves. Well, that's all in their lore, mercurial shape fae. Yeah, absolutely. You've got the Eladrin, which are basically like super fae elves. Um, help me out here. What kind of elf is there that Shatterkai? Yeah, perfect. You knew what I was going for. The Shatterkai, which are like death touched elves. Um, but I think there's even like Arctic elves, there's forest elves, there's moon elves. It's all crazy. Dang, it must be hard for dwarves when finally a peaceful and quiet vacation on the beach where there are no fucking knife ears and goddamn it, sea knife ears. My vacation is ruined. This is going in the book of grudges. That's hilarious. Avalon. Doggone it. Avalon is the Dragonborn warden. Um, Additionally, there was a character named Finzer who has since left the group, and that is kind of a sad thing, but that is the group makeup. So let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shelve the merchant thing. Let's go ahead and plan for this because we really need to. Next session, maybe start with the what the fuck is up with that game? Sure. I think we should do that. But then also, we should really have exploration, maybe find some neat stuff, hints of tech that existed in the past, but also lead group to Ghostly Colosseum. Colosseum. That is surely what I meant. Um, we'll fight rune giants. Recognize them as larger ogre mages. Might be upsetting to Ronaki. The ghosts of the city announce that they are testing those who wish to take the prize. The prize being the essence of Shantico. A council of 10 ghost mages, basically lesser liches, are stoic and will defend the essence from all others. So I think that's good. Like, yes, Zoliad the Archmage will be there, but he cannot himself defeat 10 lesser liches. Because the group got their collective butts handed to them by one. So I think this is going to be a good kind of follow-up to say, hey, you have to play by their rules, and if you play by their rules, you get the essence. Further contests will be played between the following. Soliad. Supported by summoned devils. Pontifex. Supported by minions. Cultists of Shantico. Supported by shadow creatures. And then, do we want a fourth group? I put it to you, chat. Should I put a fourth group? Oh man, this cider is too tart. I will be right back as you consider if we should put a fourth group. Try it as good. Well, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Several types of dwarf as well: Jungle, Hill, Mountain, Underdark, and Frosty. Yeah, that is true. Alright, we're gonna cut this cider with Sprite. But dear God, why? Why make such a tart? Oh, Dolgo sour, so I guess it's on purpose, but geez, it's like drinking a alcoholic sweet tart. Azer are elemental dwarves. Yeah, I could see that too. The following year, here in the frozen tundra where nothing thrives, I'll finally get away from any and all of my fears. Yes, sir. No folk and elves here. Welcome to Eldrathia, kingdom of the ice elves, dwarven Fenderino. And the Book of Grudges Gragnor, the races grew 50 pages that day. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Alright, I think 3 is good though. I think that is the consensus. No need to make this a war of 5 armies. But let me think. Fourth corner. Yeah. That's all good. Okay. And I can delete this because I remembered to tell the person that they got the Staff of Power, which is a really big deal, I hope. Alright, so I think let's just do a little perusal real quick. We're actually at 2 hours, but let me see if I can't finish this up and just kind of get things ready for this game. Because it happens in 2 days, probably. Okay, no. Very old blue dragon. Maybe. Marmasif. Ling. No, I don't think I need to. Pinnacle of Avarice. Okay, just going through this. I think I know what I want to do. Okay. Let's settle on things. Blues are the best except for blacks? Huh? Alright. If the group wins, they get the essence, but Zoliad retreats to his ancestral tower for the final showdown. Pontifex throws fit and attacks Farouk. Final stand of Pontifex. Zoliad will take something special and force Farouk to follow. What special thing? Question mark? He will assert an ancestral dominance over Ronaki, charm him, take him to the tower. Oh, dragons, yes. A D10 off their max HP. Let's see. All right, I like the way that this is kind of leading to. So I've got a pretty decent thing. This is probably going to take, let's call it 4 sessions to finish. Should be kind of neat, but it's a good direction. Yeah, Ronaki's special. They would go anywhere for Ronaki. Over Ogre Mages. Charm Ronaki. And take him to the tower. Pontifex as he throws his fit. You are all banished from the Vatican. No one makes fun of my Pope hat. Oh, the Pontifex. They're going to have a lot of fun destroying the Pontifex. That should be fun. Because I've been building up the Pontifex for quite some time. That was going to be a real big culmination of 2 campaigns. One of those campaigns fell to the wayside, so I'm kind of sad, but it doesn't matter. We're going to mend fences and make ends meet. All right, Friday. I really don't know if Fridays are going to happen, and I really need to try to figure it out. Saturday, Return to Chult might not even happen. I've got things in place. We didn't play the Saturday game. I mean, I played, but I didn't run a game, so all of this stuff is still relevant. So last week, March 12th, redo. Okay, so next, let's see, group is about to meet Suriels. Okay, so yeah, all of that is fine. I still need to read up on Omu. Not going to do that right now. Sunday, big update on Sunday. I told everyone that I was done. I finished the Sunday game. There were some people surprised. There were some people not. But there we are. And we might rebuild to something else. I'm still in talks to do that. But yeah, I ended the Sunday game. There was a little bit of kind of heartbreak there, but you know, we did what we did. And it was not an easy thing. Fought hard not to make the joke about the Pope's Twitter handle. I fought hard all those streams. Swear to God. What's the Pope's Twitter handle? We're gonna move this note to random jokes. And then yeah, so Sunday game is done for now. Let's just put a stay tuned. All right, but I mean, at least for now, that's that. I have a lot to consider and a lot to kind of mess around with, but here we are. Now, Pontifex. Yeah, I could see that. I just like Pontifex. It's a perfect villain name, and it was perfect for everything I used it for up to this point. And I'm a little sad that it's going to go away, but oh well. Okay. Played. Oh, yeah. So here we are. I know we're over time, but hopefully y'all are okay to hang around. I'm only going to go for a little bit longer to do Q&A. Hello, everyone. I hope if there's anyone here who is not a bot who has not yet spoken, speak now or forever hold your bot card. I had a question about Paranoia. I've never played Paranoia. Yeah, I've got a few questions. Fantastic. Pontifex. So Paranoia, I've never played, but I understand the premise. And the premise is that you are living in this very like weird, futuristic. It's like 2001 meets 1984, which sounds really silly, but it's kind of the way it is. You have multiple quote unquote lives, and some of those lives, or all of those lives, take the form of clones. Sorry, I don't know why that's loud all of a sudden. Let's shoot ahead. I'm not sure I like this song. All right. Anyway, sorry about the Sunday game, love, says Looney, but it's for the best. It's for the best. Yeah, if it's for the best, it's for the best. Yeah, it was time. It was time to give that game a break. I've already talked endlessly about why, but yes. So Paranoia is a game that's just like lunacy, sheer lunacy. You play through this like authoritarian, futuristic nightmare land where like you die at every corner. You are literally made to be paranoid by all of the crazy things that are happening, and that you're basically the idea is that everything is a giant conspiracy with like little tiny conspiracies weaved in for good measure. I hear it's a blast. I've never played it. What I have played is Human Occupied Landfill, and that was an enormous amount of fun. So my game master Chris, who was like my game master for most of the time, just shortly after I moved here, like for a good 10 years, ran a one shot of Human Occupied Landfill. The people who made Vampire the Masquerade, and that's kind of a loose term because it's just two of the people that were involved in the creation. They were sitting at like, I don't know, a Denny's or an IHOP or something, and they were writing out a role-playing game on cocktail or like on like the restaurant napkins. And a lot of that got transferred directly into this book. I think I've got a copy of it somewhere. But there's like doodles and everything in this entire book because it's just reproduced from what they were doing late one night. And it's just this wacky, super futuristic, like technology is magic and all of that business, where just everything is just insane. One of the weapons is like you shoot out hedgehog fetuses and they develop as they move midair to your target. So you're basically shooting like these frozen hedgehog embryos that will then impact as full-size hedgehogs. There's all kinds of other like insane things in that book, and these are all things that you can just get from character creation randomly. But the idea is that like you're in this hyper futuristic world. It's very like Fifth Element meets Event Horizon meets Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like everything is just as insane as you can imagine it to be. And the best part about it is that if you're running the game, if you're the game master or whatever they call it, you get to be the biggest jerk on the planet. You just get to be a jerk, and like if somebody says they're going to do something and they don't take it back right away, then you're like, yep, that's what you do. Or you can insult your players. It's like being roasted and playing Paranoia and like just having this whole surreal experience. Human Occupied Landfill is a great 10 out of 10 would play again. We didn't ever play it afterwards, but man, it is a blast. It's just meant to be like this real ridiculous, wacky time. If you're the kind of person who drinks, it'd be a great game to play after a couple of shots. Um, very reminiscent of Fiasco, but like a lot more focused and a lot more specific. But yeah, I mean, Looney, do you have any other questions about Paranoia or Human Occupied Landfill? I wish I knew more about Paranoia, but I just know it's kind of like it's a toned down version of Human Occupied Landfill. It came before, so I have to imagine it influenced Human Occupied Landfill. And Eli, if you have questions, please ask. I've been saying a lot, and yet not a lot. And if other people are in the chat and would like to ask questions, please. How would you make an elemental gear uh, from Princes of the Apocalypse relevant and usable away from elemental nodes? They've got so many cool and flavorful pieces of equipment. You realize that now we have two things to play for when we're living together. Oh, I mean, Looney, you don't realize that like we have upwards of two things. Like it is insane the number of things that we're gonna have to mess with. Um, there's shoot, man, why is my memory failing me all of a sudden? Let's get out of here. Actually, out of this tab. Um, so in regards to the question, how would I modify those weapons? Shoot, why am I? What the hell? Gamma World? That's what I'm talking about. We need to play Looney Gamma World. Gamma World, like it's not Paranoia, it's not Human Occupied Landfill. Let's just write that. But Gamma World is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope that wasn't super loud. Post-apocalyptic fun. Gamma World, you like this version of Gamma World, the most recent one. You literally pull concepts out of a hat, and you might be like a vampire monkey or an electric wanderer, or you might be like a slime vampire. Yeah, I phrased that wrong. Should have said two more things to play. Yes, but you get to play as these just wacky, ridiculous concepts in a post-apocalyptic world where everything is just bonkers, and I mean bonkers. Um, the last time we played it a couple of times, but the last time we played, the enemies were like the memes Dolan and Gooby. Not what Danger Dolan would eventually turn it into, but like the pre Danger Dolan days of like uh Dolan and Gooby, like these kind of almost creepy pasta esque like Disney characters. We were going through like a post apocalyptic Disneyland, um, fighting like all of these twisted and warped people that fused with their mascot outfits and turned into like these true monsters and whatnot. And the idea of Gamma World, very similar to shoot, what is that other game? But the idea is that I was telling you about Rifts the other day. It's very similar, like this post-apocalyptic, like the nuclear weapons went off and everything went crazy. But instead of like this whole magical Torg, yes, thank you, Eli. It's very much like Torg. Instead of like magic returning and things just kind of becoming more magical and dangerous, Gamma World is all these different realities kind of came to the same point of nuclear apocalypse at the same time. So they started to overlap until they collapsed. It's kind of like the stupid DC storyline with all of the different realities, but they collapsed into one world. And so instead of being multiple timelines with multiple possibilities, it's one timeline where everything just kind of got superimposed over itself. So all of the stupid crap from every timeline just exists, but it's all ruined because it all got destroyed. And so you might, yeah, Gamma World is amazing. You might like have a world where like everything is like the Jetsons, and so you've got like the post-apocalyptic remnants of that. You might have another world that was like just like Fallout, and you have all of that kind of playing at the same time. But the idea is that everything's destroyed, everything's silly and zany, and you just have to live in that world, and you yourself have been like smushed together with a different concept of yourself. So you're never just yourself, you're like three or four different things smushed into one. And so that's where it gets crazy and fun. Not suitable for a long term campaign. It's more meant for like either a one shot or like a 3 or 4 kind of game. Maybe 10 if you really wanted to go crazy with it. But really, at that point, you've kind of wrung all of the fun out of that. And then you just start over again some time later. And that's kind of what we did. We would play it a little bit at a time. And it was so fun. Gamma World is so fun. If you have more questions, please put them on the stack. I'm going to go ahead and grab my book. It'll take me but a few seconds. Princes of the Apocalypse. Sorry, give me one more extra second. Wait a minute, Dolan, please. This place all... Did you cheat at me again? Gooby, please. All right, so looking through Princes of the Apocalypse. I just need to look at the weapons real quick. But I don't see how why you couldn't just amend them slightly. Here we go. So there's Drown. I actually gave, no, now that I think about it, in my Thursday game, Madam Web, a patron, and I can't seem to balance Spider-Man powers into a warlock. So let me see. I made a bunch of spider items, actually. Orb of the Spider. Basically strength 19, like gauntlets of ochre strength. Climb speed. And resist poison. It was a really powerful item, but it was like a really cool thing that I could give to someone to be like, yeah, you're a spidery type. I think I even tripled jump distance. And anything else you can kind of mess with if you want to give them like the spidey webbing maybe, but that's a little crazy. Wingwear, balloon pack, weird tank, not the artifacts. Wingwear? Oh. Oh. Well, hold on a second. I see what you're saying. Who's sending me a message? All right, but I'm looking at these. I mean, none of them need to be close to elemental nodes that I can see. Oh, I see. Okay, the balloon pack. How about this? What if you had to go to a druid to recharge them? Maybe there's a druid in the party. The druid could recharge one of them per long rest. if they really wanted to recharge more than one, maybe they could expend a wild shape to do another one. And if you wanted to, if there wasn't a druid in the party, then you had to go to a druid and just charge, like the druid would charge for that. So let's just write this down so that we're talking about how to use elemental items from Princes of the Apocalypse without nodes. How about if a druid recharged them for a fee, or free if they were a party member? So you would just say, go to a druid, pay a tithe of like 100 gold per time that they did that. And the druid, it wouldn't be like the druid's just pocketing that. They're going toward, it's going towards like the preservation of some forest somewhere or whatever. Does that sound like it would at least be feasible? In the meanwhile, Looney, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. I think we're at 2.5 hours. Hopefully, I'm not keeping you all up too late, but I'm having fun with this stream so far. I have queues. Yes, please ask them. Sure, could get expensive, but I like the idea at least of it being like a thing. A, that you would have to pour money into, and B, it just requires that upkeep. It wouldn't be expensive if you had a druid in the group. And maybe the druid could even like give you elemental orbs to take with you if you needed to recharge it on the road. And maybe they don't charge for it when you bring it to them, but they do charge you for the orbs. Maybe similar creatures could recharge them if they run into them. So like, let's say they met a friendly blue dragon and that one could recharge the air one or whatever. Okay, so Shadowrun, have you played it? What's your thoughts on it? So question is, have I played Shadowrun? Once. It's funny, we actually went to the capital city of Chihuahua on that same trip in Mexico. Genasi sounds good. I got to SR once too. Yeah. Yeah, Genasi could do it too. I could see a Genasi doing it. And if it gets too expensive, maybe you do it 50 gold a piece, 25 gold. I don't know. Like, I think that would be an interesting way of doing it, though. Anyways, so that time we went to Mexico on my 18th birthday, the one that I gave that whole story about how one of us almost died in the big canyon. We actually spent one of the afternoons making Shadowrun characters. We made Shadowrun characters. No, I take that back. That wasn't that time. We actually made Rift's characters, and it took us a super long time, and we never played. A different time, but with that same group of people, we made Shadowrun characters, and it took us 6 hours. Yes, took us 6 hours to make characters. I think it was 3rd edition. I made a Kaneda clone. Yeah, like you do. Everything about it seemed really, really cool, but we were so exhausted by the time we finished making with a Sephiroth sword. That's hilarious. We were so tired when we finished making characters that we just never played. And I don't know what happened. It was the opposite of the sunken cost fallacy, but we just never played. We never did it. So I feel bad, but I know I would like it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. The lore is amazing. Everything about the concepts is really good. The concepts are all really good. There's maybe some troublesome ideas with the Native American aspect of it, but it sounds like a blast. And I think if I were to play a version of it that it didn't take a million years to make a character, I might play it again. It sounds like a blast. Like, it's very, again, very similar to Rifts, not post-apocalyptic, but more like this kind of the changing of a world. It's almost like if you took Blade Runner and Harry Potter and kind of mushed them together and made them happen like overnight to a world, to a modern world, that would be Shadowrun, I think. Because it's this mix of fantastical magical elements with like super hyper technology. Bright is a good reference. Bright is a fantastic reference. Bright is very Shadowrun. Um, I'm trying to think of some other kind of nominal. There were moments in the second Matrix movie when they were trying to introduce quasi supernatural elements. I don't know that I liked them very much, but at least that was, I don't know if that was meant to emulate Shadowrun, if it was a nod, or if that was just some goofy thing that they put into the script, whatever. But the Matrix movies are definitely something that is very similar. But by and large, it's also just the idea of trying to like mix in D&D with modern world. There have been other attempts to do so. And there's a new game coming out that's a remake of D20 Modern, which was exactly that. D20 Modern was back in 3rd edition D&D. They tried to make like, what if D&D happened in modern world with bugbears and dragons and stuff? And so they're trying to remake that, so that's going to come around again. But yeah, I've always wanted to play Shadowrun. Maybe again. So did not play. Sounds very neat. Maybe again at some point. Just to succinctly answer that. Better Keanu movie would be Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I agree. I hope that question was satisfactory. I hope the cyborg dolphin. Oh my god. I hope the question regarding the Princes of the Apocalypse was Wachowski ladies are like massive nerds, so odds are huge that it was a Shadowrun reference. At least the twins look the part. Man, that part with the twin ghosts, that's what we're talking about, right? Oh, I hated that part so much. It's when I first saw that. I'm sorry. I just found that so tedious. But that's just me. It was a high level of cringe for me as well. Okay. I also, it bugged me that it was like, oh, do you see these tough guys that they're fighting and they won't go down? They're werewolves, but they don't look like werewolves. I don't know. I had my issues with the Matrix too. I never watched the third one. Maybe I just didn't understand them. Yeah, it just was. It was very tedious. It just felt so tedious. And for us to get from like a parking lot to a half finished highway, just for it was really fucking cool watching Morpheus cut that car with a katana. Really goddamn cool. But the setup leading up to it was not. Sorry, that's just me. There were other really cool parts to that movie. I was okay with most of it, but I didn't feel like I had the patience for the third movie. Never watched it. I don't know that I'm gonna watch the fourth one. I'm just not jazzed about it. I don't even remember Morpheus doing that. I mean, it was the highlight of the movie for me. That was the coolest part of that movie. I just wish that they had, I don't know, set it up better. But it was really fucking cool. Like for the cinematography necessary to do that shot. Like I know some of it was not practical, but a lot of it was, if I remember correctly. Like it was really well done. As for the fourth one, it's a movie. It is one of the movies of all time. Yeah, I didn't expect much from that. I don't know. I enjoyed the twins. It was silly, but it was kind of entertaining. Um, I think I would have enjoyed it if it was like half as long. I had no problem with like the concept of them. They did a really good job of like the effects of them looking like ghosts and everything, and just like the idea that they were morphing through things. And I think that there was a lot of symbolism there that maybe was lost on me as a, I don't know, 17-year-old. I can't remember when that movie came out relative to my age. Um, but no, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't enjoy them as a concept, but like the sequence just I felt like it took a long for what it's worth. Um, but we're at 2 hours and 36 minutes. Any other questions? Again, this has been cool. I would be happy to answer any other questions. How do you podcast? It's not easy. At least not the recording part of it. So it's funny, but I think I mentioned like I just took the information that was given to me by the Critical Role podcast, and sometimes they advertise or they are sponsored by Anchor. This is going to sound like a commercial, but Anchor lets you podcast super easy, like super easy. Matrix 4 is just Lana giving the WB the finger because they threatened her and her sister with doing the movie without them. It's ass, but I respect her crashing the franchise with no survivors to lock WB out of monetizing it. That's completely fair. I respect that. I respect that. I've heard really good things about Speed Racer, so I've been meaning to watch that. The recording of it went from a really easy method that sounded like ass to a somewhat complicated method that sounds way better. Or so I heard. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I mean, it is a movie. I think I'll just leave it be. But the fact that she did that is great. I completely respect that choice. So there's Discord. So we do our game on Discord, and it's all voice via Discord. There is a Discord bot named Craig. It's not fancy, but that's what it's named. The Discord bot is named Craig, and you can use it to record all the different channels of all the different people talking on Discord, which is great because you can isolate people's sound. You can mute certain parts of it if you need to, which I should have done last time, but I was too lazy. And so then you are able to download the audio files and tinker with them on what is the program? Sorry, on Audacity. So you can tinker with them on Audacity. The unfortunate reality is that doing work on Audacity will eat up space on your hard drive until you're done doing that. Like gigabytes worth. Dozens of gigabytes worth. So if I tinker for too long, it will eat up all of the space on my hard drive. Now, I can delete that file and start from scratch and get all my space back. And when I'm done with it, if I've succeeded, I can delete that file and get all my space back, and probably end up with an MP3. How do I podcast? An MP3 that's like about 400, 500 gigabytes large, which is not terrible. And that's for about 2 hours. Hello, TK. How's it going? Anchor makes the upload part easy. Craigbot on Discord does good sound quality, hard to tinker with. So it took me maybe an hour and a half last time just learning how to do it and then uploading that audio file and just trying to figure out how to work around it. But that's how I do it. I use Craigbot to get the sound. I download the data files, and then I turn those data files into an MP3 and upload that MP3. I'd like to either get a bigger hard drive so that I can tinker with it, or just get a whole new computer so that I can, more aptly do the things I need to do. But we'll figure it out. Like right now, even if I don't get a new computer or a hard drive, we can make it work, and it should be fine. But it is tinkery and weird, and will take some getting used to. But that's how I podcast. TK, do you have any questions for me? Do you play any mobile games? Yeah, I do. Do I play mobile games? I play Final Fantasy Dissidia, Opera, Omnia. I used to play Fire Emblem Heroes. I kind of sort of play Magic the Gathering Arena. There might have been another mobile game in there somewhere. God, there was a third for a while. I can't remember what it was, but I had to stop because they eat up way too much time. Opera Omnia is already a big time sink for me, and I try and keep it to as minimal as I can, but then there's a lot of stuff that I miss. And I try and balance it. Like, I used to care a lot more about the things that I miss, and I don't anymore. And I've actually kind of fallen off of playing Magic the Gathering Arena, so whatever, I'm fine with that. Man, I used to play a shit ton of Fire Emblem Heroes. I just need to play actual Fire Emblem games is just the cure for that. But that's it. Seeing how Shadowrun was mentioned, have you played FASA's other flagship title, Battletech? No, I actually am kind of anti-Battletech, and a lot of people will hate me for this. Have I played Battletech? No. I am kind of anti-Battletech. I would like to play Earth Dawn at some point. How about Lancer instead? I have played Lancer. I rather enjoy Lancer. It's a lot of setup. It's kind of complex to get into, but once it's going, it runs like a dream. It's smooth. It's buttery smooth. But it was a little tricky to kind of get my head around how you play it, and a lot of like the little fiddly options. I don't care for. Just give me something. Like, give me the bog standard mech. Don't let me like trying to figure out, like, do I want something that deals plasma damage? Do I want something that deals railgun damage? I don't honestly care about all of that. But once we started going on Lancer, it was really fun. I actually rather enjoyed it. It's fascinating how self-contained it is. How it's basically a browser TTRPG, like a BRPG. I don't know what you would call it, but it's fascinating. I love the concept of it. I'm curious to see how that concept is extrapolated to other things. It's actually unusual to me that you never got into Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I actually did play that. The thing is, like, Member Berry's Crack was the only mobile game I ever got hooked on. I did start playing Record Keeper for a little while. And something happened, I can't remember. Like, I tried to start playing it. Probably what happened was that it was one of those times that it was just, I was drowning in work at a job that I wasn't super happy about. And it didn't stick. It didn't like have the staying power for whatever reason. But it was close. I was very close to getting really into Record Keeper. Like, I really wanted to get Cloud and all of my favorite characters and whatnot. I can't remember if Record Keeper was the one that had those pop singers. I can't remember their names. Ariana Grande and Katy Perry. Those are the ones that I was thinking. I don't know if it was Record Keepers or another one of the vast numbers of Square Soft mobile games. But that was dumb. That was so dumb. I could respect Lara Croft being in them, but I can't believe they had pop singers for just no real reason. But whatever, it was funny. I was kind of starting to talk about Battletech. The reason that I'm sort of anti-Battletech. Oh no, actually, that's a funny story. We used to play Battletech a long time ago, and boy, did we misunderstand the rules. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and that led to some memorable stories. I'll get into that sometime. In fact, let me earmark this for next session or next episode. Talk about goofy Battletech stories. Episode 21. But no, so okay, Battletech. This is a controversial statement. I am not happy with Battletech using the Macross robot designs. Like, there's people who are like, oh yeah, they figured out how to do that legally. Like, they didn't just rip them off. I don't care. That's wildly unoriginal. Copyright issues? I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of people who claim that they got it legally, that they received the copyrights. But if I see an officer battle pod, I want it to be an officer battle pod. If I see a Destroid, I want it to be a Destroid. Like if you look, Battletech, make your own mech designs. I don't respect you if you just like rip off mech designs from another game. I've had issues with Palladium Books ripping off mech designs, and they did, despite the fact that they actually have the actual copyright to Robotech, or they did have it, and they lost it. That's a longer story that I'm not going to go into. Pop Singer collabs was Brave Exvius. That's right. I tried getting into that one, didn't have room. Yeah. But yeah, as far as Battletech, in Battletech's defense, they had legal license from a third party. Yeah, and I get it. I know they did. But that just seems so uncreative that they're gonna just take those things, slap them into a book, and say, "Hey, here's mech designs." And then you have I don't know, like they really should have just made their own. Like, for as big as the license is now and has ever been, they could have done that. Like, they didn't have to like steal designs, and if they were gonna do it, like, do it from Votoms. Do it from, this was 84 before Robotech came over. Now, I completely understand that. I know it was pre-Robotech. And I know that Harmony Gold doesn't really have a leg to stand on to be upset at Battletech. I'm saying I'm upset about it in a Macross lens. And it just seems lazy. There are only so many shapes you can put arms and legs and guns on. I beg to differ, honestly. Seeing like every iteration of Gundam that we've seen, seeing every like new mech series that will come out, seeing all of the different variations of like Armored Core. You take a game system and setting like Heavy Gear. Those are people who really loved. Also, the Japanese edition of Battletech art was done by Studio Nue, the creator of Macross. Well, sure, by that point it was, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't like it. You can be upset at me about it, but I'm not crazy about it. If I want to play a game that has Destroids and Officer Battle Pods, I'm gonna play some variation of the Robotech role-playing game, like I did. All Gundams look the same. Yeah, they do. That's why I didn't mention Gundams. But anyways, yeah, there's all kinds of different Robotech role-playing games that I can play now, and I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna play Battletech. Like, it just seems disingenuous to me. That being said, if you want to look at a game system where they're making robot designs that are inspired by, but not direct copies of, an anime, you take Heavy Gear. Look at all of the robots that they've created. They look great. They're original. They were inspired by Armored Trooper Votoms, but they didn't copy everything like panel by panel, pencil stroke by pencil stroke, and I respect that way more. No, come on, guys, not all Gundams look the same. One of them has like a mustache. Yes. Um, and then you have the heck is that one called? Jovian Chronicles. Same company, DreamPod 9. They made a whole bunch of really cool futuristic mech designs. Didn't have to copy one thing. So you can be mad at me about that, but I respect that way more. And I love the setting for Heavy Gear and Jovian Chronicles way more. And I'm going to play those games. I have zero desire to play Battletech. Had some fun with it because we were being goofy teenagers back in the day, but I'm just not a Battletech player. I'm very sorry. It's not like Battletech and Heavy Gear are the Coke and Pepsi of giant robot RPGs, but that's just where I am with it. Okay, that Sprite really cut the sourness of that cider. Okay, since we're doing giant robots now, I have 2 questions for you. Okay, let's keep going. So as long as I can spend hours customizing parts, I'll be happy. Yeah, oh yeah, you can do that. It's just a shame that the Heavy Gear RPG has fallen into disuse. They're still doing the war game, so that's unfortunate. But I can still play it. I don't know if there's still a BattleTech RPG. I think it's in the same. It's in the same bin. There's no more RPG, but the war game is still going. But that's just how those things go. By 1988, the Macross designs were mostly replaced by original designs, which are more famous than the borrowed designs. Also, Studio Nue and Big West didn't care because it pissed off Tatsunoko and Harmony Gold. Yeah, and I know that there was a big kerfuffle between Tatsunoko and Harmony Gold. I mean, there's the famous. I can never remember his name. Is it Spitfire? Skyfire? It's the Transformer that accidentally or on purpose had the Veritech design. Super Robot Wars, what's your take? Which one is your favorite in Super Robots or Real Robots? So, Super Robot Wars, my favorites are whichever ones have Rayearth characters in them. And that's real bias. I love Magic Knight's Rayearth. When they started including those in Super Robot Wars, I went for the moon. Like, that was the best thing ever. But I'm having gotten into some of them, now I need to go back and at least get one Super Robot Wars that has Shin Mazinger in it, if I don't already. And what was the Getter Robo that we watched? I'm gonna have to get that one too. Favorite anime mech? Go. Wait. Favorite mech anime or favorite anime mech? Because those are two real different questions. And then let's see, Delandau's Red, Alcides Gaimel from Escaflowne. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that as an answer. Let's see, anime mech. Favorite anime mech? Shoot, that's a great question. You know what? It's easy. It's the Tall Geese. Also Tall Geese 3. From Gundam Wing. Jetfire, Skyfire, depending on where you look, the name would change. He was a bit of a clusterfuck of a character, yeah. Favorite anime mech, yeah, so Tall Geese. And then Hasbro licensed the toy in 1984 for 1985 from Takatoku Toys and toy license for Macross, along with 6 other designs from 2 other animes. Let's see. And yeah, that ended up being a clusterfuck too. And all of it because there were a lot of greedy people trying to like cross sell the license for those things. Let me see. So Looney, which one is your super robots or real robots? I'm not sure how to interpret that answer. And that might just be because I'm trying to drink this sour cider. What? American and Japanese working relationships pre-2000 was they sold to US and the US could do whatever. Yeah. Well, and someone can correct me, but I believe that Japanese copyright was, let's just say, real muddled. Um, and I think there's a different relationship with copyright, or at least there was prior to, like, I don't know, let's say 2005. Um, we have a lot of laws that will protect people in case of parody, and I know that Japanese, at least for a long time, Japanese companies were allowing people to do like, humble homages. They wouldn't necessarily like litigate if someone was doing like a fan magazine that used their property or what have you. And I mean, I don't even know that they still do. There's a lot of people who just genuinely make fan magazines, fan comics of things and make money off of them on a small scale. And then I don't know necessarily that it's true that they don't get litigated, but like enough people do it that I presume that they don't. Um, and I don't know. It speaks to a slightly different view on things. So I think maybe in the 90s and late 80s, Japan was kind of learning what American copyright law was and just exactly how rigid it was, and then starting to like look at their own things. And all of this is pure conjecture. I'm not a copyright lawyer. Super robots are the more outlandish robots. Oh, I see what you're saying. Zabungle? I don't even know what Zabungle is. So I like both though. For instance, Full Metal Panic is really cool. Gundam, certain versions of Gundam are really cool. And I would even go so far as to say like G Gundam is a really good example of a super robot, or super robots, let's say, versus like Gundam Wing, just as an example. After bankruptcy finally came in 1984, designs were purchased by Bandai, licensed some of the molds to Hasbro, desperate to meet demand. Minimal American presence. Companies rather than distribute. Please note at the same time licensing robot toys to Tonka for Gobots. Oh yeah, Gobots is its own thing. That's a huge. Oh boy, Gobots. Super robots make me think of Big O. I don't know, Looney. What would you consider Big O to be? That one's almost more a real robot. It's really cool. It has some really cool elements to it, but it's not like Mazinger. It's not like Getter Robo. Because we're talking like when we say super robots, we mean robots that'll like destroy moons. Gobots has a Transformer series since 1991, thanks to Tonka Kenner being bought by Hasbro. Yeah, Hasbro's kind of a mega giant. Well, am I crazy? Didn't they do a Transformers meets Gobots movie? We really need to get you to watch the Zabungle anime. That shiz is based. Yeah, I'm all about it. I'll watch it. Um, there's the Tenchi Muyo spin-off, uh, dual parallel stories, which is really good. Then what am I thinking of, TK? What was there was like a weird Transformers crossover with like another property. If it wasn't GoBots, it was like something weirdly similar. It's like, Now we are just talking about Transformers and super robots. But anyways, yeah, just to more definitively answer that question, like I like both super robots and regular robots, and I think they both have their place. As I've kept mentioning, Heavy Gear is one of my favorite role playing games, and that's super normal robots. That's super real robots, and that's super cool. Like that's my favorite, like one of my favorite things of all time. There was a Heavy Gear cartoon for a while. It was terrible. No crossover movies have happened for Transformers, but there are crossover comics. Big O probably falls under Super Robot on a technicality. Some of those are really hard to pin down. All right, what's this? What's this link here? Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to like those Transformers, um, the Star Wars crossovers. Like they just looked so goofy. I appreciate them for what they were, and that they probably made some kids really happy, but I could not get into them. Transformers. Super Robot is the robot is basically a superhero and real robot. Robot is treated like normal. I mean, if you even want to look at it this way, it's like real robots are kind of like the Star Trek of robots, where it's like everything is supposed to make internal scientific sense. Whereas super robots are a little bit more like Star Wars, where everything's just kind of goofy, crazy, go nuts on the science end, and you can kind of make things up as you like. Seeing all kinds of Transformers comics crossovers with GI Joe, Star Trek, and Ghostbusters. Yeah. Getter series we watched is known in the West as Getter Robot Armageddon. Yeah. So I want whatever Super Robot Wars that has the Getter Robot Armageddon stuff. Um, let's see. I know we're talking really heavily about giant robots and so on. Uh, does anyone have any other questions related to that topic or other topics? Getting real close to tomorrow. Oh, are we? You're probably an hour ahead, aren't you? Pretty much all Super Robot War games after the turn of the millennium feature Shin Getter and CRA crew in some form or another. I know Alpha Gaiden still has the 70s version of Ryoma and Company. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to start hunting down more of those games. And boy, they're like all over the place. Let's see. So, back to the question of the day. All this talk has me remember the little books that came with NES games about the actual plot. Why am I nostalgic for that? No, I love that. And they would have little doodles of like the characters in them, and they would actually tell you who everyone was, all the way down to like every enemy. They'd be like, "This thing is called a blooper. This thing is called a cheap cheap." And for whatever reason, they'd be forced to name every like sprite in the game, but it was fantastic. On Jetfire, Hasbro wanted Jetfire in the cartoon, but Takara, their Japanese partner, did not, since they were airing the cartoon in Japan because it would promote a toy from a major rival. So Skyfire was created to just different enough to be in a few episodes to market the toy. Huh. Um, did I answer the question of the day? So yeah, if I could bring back one thing from my childhood. So number one, let me see if I can search this up. So one thing I would bring back, Josta Soda. Boy, I miss Josta Soda. Oh, I love that soda so much. I wish I could have a Josta right now. It wouldn't be super sour. Um, I also would love to have, if they could go back and do it was weirdly an anime adaptation of Grimm's fairy tales, just called Grimm's Fairy Tales or Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics. And I don't know if y'all remember this. They had it on Nickelodeon for a little while, long enough for me to like watch most of them, and they were really good. And they're on Blu-ray now. Um, and I really like. I'm thinking about getting them at some point in the near future. But man, I love that dumb show. And it was silly. And funny enough, a lot of the voices from the Robotech series, they use those same people. Um, let's see. Sorry about all this goofiness, but yeah, Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics. That's the best picture I could find of like the kind of opening of that. But they used a lot of the same. Like it must have been the same. I don't know, recording studio or whatever. But like most of the voices were um, the crew, the voice actors who did Robotech. So I remember as a kid like recognizing the voices were the same. Um, I wish that they would do like either like I just wish that this was on the air right now, or that they would like redo this a little bit and like do some of the fairy tales they never got to, and so on. Shockwave, Omega Supreme, and Skylinks were exceptions to that rule for Takara since they were licensed from smaller companies. Takara, see, in Japan, Hasbro and Takara were able to buy the mold for Shockwave from its toy company. Oh, that's neat. What? Oh, that was a guarana drink. Then we're in a similar boat. Coca-Cola used to do a guarana soft drink that was called Senzao, and it tasted great. They stopped making it, and that gives me a big sad. In what animation style? Let me actually go back to that because it's hard to kind of show, and I don't want to like show too much of this and get myself in trouble like as an animation. But let me see if I can just do a still frame so you can kind of get an idea for what this show is about. But it was great. They did like really good versions of like Puss in Boots and the musicians of Bremen and so on. Like there are some fairy tale things that I would not know but for this show. Yeah, this is good. Let me see if I can show this. Um, Oh, what animation style would I like them to do? The same. Like, so you see this, and it's very like of its time. This kind of like classic. I shouldn't say classic. It's like anime made of the classics. Like if you've ever gone back and seen like Anne of Green Gables, the anime, or Huckleberry Finn, the anime. Oh hell no! I don't want it to be done like JoJo. I love JoJo, but I wouldn't want to see a JoJo fairy tale anime. Not quite. Um, but they've taken this style and updated it, and it looks beautiful. And they could do that. They could totally do this again with this style, and I would love it. Like I think it would be completely fine. Like if you've ever seen the anime Emma, if they did it in that style, I would be over the moon. It would be great. It would be amazing. Um, And for that matter, I wonder if they ever finished Emma. Robotech was created the way it was to get around the syndication rules for the US in the 80s. They had only wanted Macross, did not have enough episodes for this syndication exactly. 36 episodes and they needed more. Oh, but by the way, I'm current on Dungeon Meshi. Thanks for the referrals. Yeah, so did you like that? Did you enjoy the series overall? I'm gonna have to go back and get caught up. It's been a really long time since I've read Dungeon Meshi. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I used to borrow it from the library in the before times. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Awesome. And yeah, I haven't done that in a really long time. Let's see if I can finish this really sour cider. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and close it down here in a little bit. But let's see. Have you seen? Oh my goodness. Well, wait a second. Stop the clock. Yes, I have seen David the Gnome. Um, let's see. My wish to return from my childhood is Josta Soda and Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics. Have I seen David the Gnome? That was another one that I watched on Nickelodeon as a kid. Loved David the Gnome. I think they used to show that fairy tale anime down here back in the 90s, but they'd show it at 10:30 a.m. on Canal 5, so I was always at school. Oh, that's a bummer. But no, I love David the Gnome. Um, Tom Bosley was the voice of David the Gnome, the dad on Happy Days. And it was just funny that he, for whatever reason, what was the name of the koala one that went through portals on Nick Jr.? Okay, so boy, yes, he was. So get ready to have your mind blown. There were not one, but two koala animes on Nickelodeon. So, and this is going to be kind of hard to showcase, but there was uh, the Adventures of Little Koala, which was a completely different anime, and then there was the Noozles. The Noozles was the one that I liked watching. Like I was a really big fan of the Noozles. I didn't have any idea what was going on. It was really hard to understand what the hell was going on from episode to episode. It went from being like a weird slice of life to being this like big dramatic thing, with Ayers Rock being like some kind of a weird trans-dimensional node. Oh my god, that show was so weird. It was so weird, but I loved it. But the Noozles, late 90s to mid 2000s Nick and Cartoon Network is what I want back from my childhood. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I remember the Noozles fondly. I would watch that again. I don't know as much about the Adventures of Little Koala. I could take or leave it. But it's just weird that there were two different koala-based anime on Nickelodeon. It was real weird. Real weird. But yeah, so more to the point regarding David the Gnome. Um, yeah, I watched it a lot, and in fact, as you might see, back up here, just going back to through the campaign planning, we are playing, and it's very loosely based, but Klaus the Gnome, loosely based on, but heavily inspired by David the Gnome. And so yeah, big fans of David the Gnome here in this household. TK, was there like a specific but like obscure cartoon that you enjoyed in from the late 90s to early 2000s? Like I could rattle off a number of like really weird cartoons that existed in the late 90s that just people do not remember. Like James Bond Jr. or Marsupilami or Schnookums and Meat. Anybody remember Schnookums and Meat? Mummies Alive was another one. That like I don't know why I gravitated towards that one. It was real late, but boy did they try. Bruno the Kid. I think you saw me mention that on my Twitter. I just thought of that randomly. And Bruce Willis was the voice. Mainstream stuff like Johnny Bravo and the like. Yeah. TK, what about Two Stupid Dogs? Does anybody here remember Two Stupid Dogs? I do, but it was dumb, lol. I loved Two Stupid Dogs. I completely grant that it was very dumb. It was very dumb, but God, it was like my kind of humor. There was something about it that just made me. And same with Angry Beavers. I really liked Angry Beavers. It was real dumb. It was just like it was just dumb, like just dumb for the sake of being dumb. But it was great. I loved both of those shows, and they were really different, but the humor-wise, they were very similar. I keep borrowing concepts from Wisdom of the Gnomes for our campaign. That's awesome. Please borrow away. I am 100% okay with that. Which, by the way, Looney, remind me to name the unicorn that is in your forest. I don't know if we've already done that and I forgot, but we should officially name the unicorn. Sorry for the scrolling. Um, there we no. Shoot. That's right, because we moved it to Wednesday too. That's why I missed it. Name unicorn. Its name is Unicron. Let's see. I also miss the 90s and 2000s DC and Marvel cartoons. Yeah, DC and Marvel cartoons. I really liked Batman, the animated series. I really liked the Superman animated series. I did not like the Batman Superman adventures. Something about the combination of those two was terrible. Did not like it. I remember Marsupilami used to love the cartoon because it was a big fan of the comics. That's awesome. The X-Men theme song, absolutely fantastic. I really liked the Fox Spider-Man cartoon. Really good. People don't remember that one as fondly. I feel like. And then there was like the weird MTV Spider-Man cartoon, and then there was like a later one on the WB. It was all weird. And then there was X-Men Evolution. I had a real hard time getting used to that one, though they used a lot of the voice cast from Ranma 1/2 for the American Ranma 1/2 dub. So it was at least fun to see a lot of the same voice actors, but like I had a hard time getting used to like it's X-Men, but they're all in high school, which is actually closer to the roots of the story, but whatever. I wasn't having it then. MTV Spider-Man was technically a sequel to the first movie. Oh wow. See, I never watched it. see, I'm going to highlight this. Neil Patrick Harris was Peter Parker. That's crazy. See, I never knew any of that. I just didn't watch it. I think we didn't have cable at that time. I remember Fox Spider-Man because that's who I'm basing Madam Web patron off of. That's amazing. That's great. Shoot, why is this? All right. Well, we had a super long stream today. I'm glad that y'all showed up. Who showed up? I'm sorry I had to trash talk Battletech. That's just me. Don't take that as an endorsement or an unendorsement of Battletech. I can take it or leave it. My feelings aren't hurt if you like Battletech. Hopefully yours aren't hurt if I don't. If anybody who hasn't asked a question yet would like to ask a question, please do. Any of you who are lurking but not bots, X-Men Evolution was the introduction of X-23 into comics. Oh, that's cool. Heck, I'm writing down my notepad to remind you about the unicorn on Wednesday. That sounds good, Looney. Thank you. But barring any other questions, I'm keen to talk about all kinds of pop culture subjects. So we will do that next time, as well as continue to plan games. I think we've done a good job of planning the games that we've got. So thank you all for your input and contributions. Just waiting another minute to see if any other questions pop up. Gonna take another sip of this cider and find out if a 50-50 split of Sprite is going to make it drinkable. It's good. It's good. Oh, there's still a tang to it, but it's not as bad. Not nearly. It's not Shock Tart level anymore. It's more like Jolly Rancher. But y'all are great. I might have to split this stream into two in the future so that I can change it to just chatting, and then we can talk to our heart's content about pop culture and everything. As I record the game tomorrow, there will probably be a large segment of it that will be just pop culture. Looney, I hope I'm not eating into your time at camp. I'm very grateful that you were able to come in. Question of the day was the problem. Maybe I should keep asking questions of the day like that. Maybe next time I'm going to be like, hey, what was your favorite band between 1995 and 2000? Not that came out at that time, but of yours from that time period. Would that spur conversation? I need to take you to the ancestral family home one day so you can try cider from Asturias and give me your take on it. Yeah, I would love to. Would it be alcoholic cider or non-alcoholic? Because what I'm drinking now is alcoholic. Not that it matters, just curious. On the Battletech RPG, it still exists. It's called Battletech, A Time War, formerly Mech Warrior. No, I think I remember it when it was Mech Warrior. They did a lot of PC games called Mech Warrior and so on. Yeah, I don't know. Someday I'll play Shadowrun. Someday I'll play Earth Dawn. And maybe someday I'll play Battletech. But I've got a lot to do before I get to that. And I'm basically foregoing any war games because I just don't have the time or energy to go into war games. So it's all role-playing games from here on out. Went to a games workshop the other day, and boy, did they try and get me to play the Warhammer 40k war game. Maybe when I'm retired. Maybe. I also have learned of myself that I'm not super competitive. At least I don't like to be. So war games kind of like trounce on that. I'd rather have things be cooperative. Alcoholic, yes, but there's all sorts. Cider is one of the characteristic products of that region. That's amazing. I'm eager to try that out. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it very soon. I was really happy with the results of the question of the day. I'm going to try and get something as um, provocative next time. Favorite band from 95 to 2000 would probably be Metallica, AC/DC, since that what Dad used to put me to sleep as a toddler. That's amazing. I like that story. But that's the question for next time. No worries, nights at camp here are mostly bullshitting with the bunkmates. So what are you like telling them about this stream, or are you like watching me with headphones in, or how's that going for you? Born 1996. Oh my goodness, TK, you are much younger than I gave you credit for. I don't know why I thought you were like closer to my age. I was born in 82. But yeah, we'll lead the 81. And you are my priority over the bunkmates, let me tell you. Well, thank you. Grew up watching old cartoons and playing with 80s and 90s toys. Yeah. I mean, that was kind of me. But for like 70s and 80s stuff, like, he was raised right. Oh, absolutely. I would agree with that. TK, you know what's what. Yeah. There's a quick story I'll tell that my brother, he's older by 7 years. He wanted an AT-AT so bad that he built one out of diaper boxes, and my parents felt so bad for him that they bought him an AT-AT. I don't know what they cost back then, but I think they were like expensive enough to think twice about getting one. Watching you with headphones on, these folks don't do English. Would they be like looking at you weird with like, why are you watching that thing with all the moon runes coming out of it? But all right, I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all's opinions. I appreciate y'all's participation. We're gonna go ahead and stop there. My mom's toys were from gifts to Kenner employees from Overstock Figures. Did she used to work for Kenner? I mean, I presume that's the implication. But yeah, let me go ahead and stop it there. We've got a pretty decent, like, I think I might have to mess around with this lo-fi beats. There's some that I'm like meh, but we've got another 4 or 5 weeks worth of it to go, I think. So it should be good. I like some of these lo-fi channels. But we're gonna go ahead and stop there. Thank you, all of you. TK says my mom's family live on the same side of Cincinnati, live at the same side of Cincinnati as the Kenner factory and work in the factory. Mom was born in 1977. Oh wow, weird to think that it's like just 5 years apart. But that's cool. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop. Again, thank you all of you who participated. Really lively discussion today. I was really happy. I hope we get more people in here and talking in the future, but this was a really, really good round of that. But yes, thank you everyone once again. We're going to go ahead and stop the stream. Here we are. We will stop, and please come back next time. I'm going to announce if we can do another Final Fantasy V stream. I didn't do it last week. I do apologize, but we will get to that morning. Yes, thank you for sticking it out. And here we go. Remember, I plan and play games for you.